Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is Big Girl Diary, Celebrity Mess. This live stream, I know I'm killing this. Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, what I want to look into is the is what I want to look into is the okay is sorry about that. What I want to look into is the relationship, and is this relationship normal in many other relationships? Do women put unrealistic expectations on their man, husband, boyfriend, or significant other? Do you see that? Now, I see this in many occasions. When I walk out in the street, even with my friends, we'll, talk and they'll say some outlandish things. How he is supposed to know that she wants him to clean because she wants him to clean. She wants him to do it. However, she doesn't want to express it, but she feels that he should feel that he should clean because that is what he should do, because she thinks that he should do that, and he should be in tune to her feelings. Ooh, that's a lot of shit. And I'm just like, why don't you tell him what you want? Yeah, it's just one of these things that that I see people try to emulate people like Jada. Jada is, I don't know what. I try to pull up one of my videos to where I spoke about her, and I wasn't very happy with it. But like, look at this. Come on, here. Now here's Will and Jada. Now, Will is, happy. She's happy. They're at the Oscars. I'm not going to get into all that right there. I'm just going to just focus just on this right here. As long as he is doing what she feels that he should do, he's in tune with her, things are okay. But man, if he doesn't, got that silly thing going on, if you don't do right by me, oh goodness, yeah. So as long as he's in tune with her. Now, what I find, oh my goodness, what I find interesting is that there are men, I've talked to a couple of men around my area, and I just was blown away how they don't have a cutoff point. What I mean, they don't have a cutoff point is no matter what a woman does, they would defend her. And I found that interesting. And I'm like, well, what if her behavior is so outrageous that she does not deserve protection? And I don't mean somebody physically harming her, but someone, you know, saying something to her, cussing her out by her behavior. And all the guys that I was talking to were like, oh no, you're not going to talk to my woman in no kind of way. I'm like, even if she embarrasses you, her behavior is outrageous. No matter how you try to get her to fall into line, she's going to go out and continuously act like a fool, treat you in your kind of way. And you still have no cutoff point. You don't have no moral footing to where you're going to say, okay, you're not going to cross this line. That is it. Because I'm not going to let you cross that line. This is how I feel about it. And if you cross that line, you're on your own. They're like, no. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, guys, you're going to have to find a boundary to where you're not going to let her cross and you're not going to defend her if she's out there acting a fool. Now, Will has been for years living in a dead man's shadow. And he's never, ever, ever going to be Tupac. And trying to fight a ghost and be relevant in her eyes. Gets up on national TV and just. She threw him under the bus, but that's something different. He could have, he had no boundaries. No, he didn't set a boundary saying, hey, look, this is my night. I'll go ahead and deal with it another way. No, but he had to get up there and be her Tupac. Cost him everything. Everything. Will did not put that boundary down. Didn't put no boundary down, nothing. Breaks my heart, but and even now, he shouldn't have done that. I'm an independent woman. I could defend myself. Oh man, he had to be pissed. He had his Tupac moment. I got my Tupac moment. I'm gonna show her. And she was happy. You know, she walked out of Oscar smiling and holding hands. He probably haven't felt that much attention in maybe 22 years. I'm just at a loss for words. I mean, I'm just, back to the guys. And what really got me was no matter what Jada did, they still were like, he was right for going up there and doing what he did. He handled his business. He took care of his woman. He protected his woman. Well, there's more to protecting your woman besides violence. Number one, my belief is making her responsible for what she puts out there. If she's bashing you every chance that she gets, making you look bad. Oh, Will's bad in bed. He ought to know what I want. He should know it. He should feel me. Look, in my day, if you don't ASK, then you don't GET. It's just that simple. People don't live in ESPN zone. They just don't. If you don't ask. And most men don't work off that. Okay, I'm mentally in tune with you. I know you're No, they just don't. But back to men in my area. Now I live in the DMV area, and DMV has some very interesting people. I wasn't born and raised here. I just been here for a long time, and the mindset of the men here is very, very interesting. Not far from Philly, the men here mostly have been raised by women. So when women act a fool, that's their normal. And what I see out here on the street, women act a fool. Embarrassing, but they act a fool. And then they have men actually trying to be their white and shining armor when they're out there acting a fool. Like, you see, I do want to give examples, but I don't want to give any. Okay, let's say for an example, a woman out in the street feels disrespected because someone was looking at her, and she assumes that this gentleman was looking at her. He was looking in her direction. Doesn't mean he was looking at her. You can look at someone and look past them. It may look like that they're looking at you, but they're not. And then she gets frustrated, like, why are you looking at me? Don't be looking at me. And let him go on with that foolishness, cussing and acting a fool. And then a man will come and try to defend her while she's cussing and this, that, and the other, and then try to explain, asking her what's going on. Oh, he's looking at me. Look at him looking at me. Well, many people are looking at you, but then he'll approach the man saying, why are you looking at her? And then the man is like, well, I wasn't looking at her, I was looking past her. No, you were looking, and next thing you know, fight breaks out. Man trying to protect her, but there was nothing to protect. I mean, there are other so many incidences, and that wasn't uh, that wasn't a very good story, but it was one that jumped into my head. But I do see a lot of women who move like Jada Pinkett Smith. They have that entitlement. They have that. You better connect with me, or or else. Oh man, I remember this was some years back. I'm in a CVS, and this man and woman walk in, and the woman, they were at the counter, and she wanted to get something a little extra from CVS. I don't know, maybe some gum or something. The guy was like, "Nah, just take that." And she acted a pure D fool. You better give me what I want. If you want any of this, if you want any of this, all of this, you better give me what I want. Because if you don't give me what I want, somebody else will. Out, all out in public, everybody looking, and they're not necessarily looking at her. They're looking at him for accepting that behavior, and he just looked so embarrassed, so emasculated. Like, here, you just gave it to her. Here, yeah, because if you want to continue getting this, you better. Just foolishness, just straight foolishness. Oh my goodness. But wait a minute, let me add this. I'm trying to add this and it doesn't want to work for me now. Uh, okay, yeah. But as long as she's smiling, everything's fine. But once that smile goes away, oh, you get that. And that's what she gave that man. She gave him the, you better do it or else. And everybody's looking like this little girl, like, what? You're accepting that behavior? You're accepting that behavior? But just the way relationships are going, it's going like this. Women have no boundaries. They do what they want, and and that I just don't prescribe to that. I putting men in a position to where they have to protect your fragile ego. Now, yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith is losing her hair. Yes, she is. And she said, I don't care. I don't give a crap for what people think. I'm losing my hair and that's it. But couldn't take a joke. And then Will had to save her. Yeah. Ugh. It's just it's just well, for me, beyond comprehension. It doesn't make any sense to me at all how that would happen, and Will is not going to do anything about it. He's just simply going to accept it, and he's going to continue being in that, and he's just going to be, yes, honey, yes, whatever you want, honey, here, do whatever. Oh, go have your outside whatever. Just it's hard. It's terrible. But now, one thing I didn't see, and in the video I mentioned, what about his sister? How comes his sister didn't pull his brother to the side, say something to Jada? Hey, what's up with you? Why you treat my brother like this? I mean, just put her on notice. Hey, this behavior is outrageous. You're making the family look bad. Now I remember, oh, many moons ago, my brother was dating this girl, and I don't really do that a sister code thing, because women, we do some ratchet stuff, really ratchet stuff, and it's to the point to where we don't protect our family members, we don't protect the men in our family from what women do, because what Jada did, it wouldn't fly in my family. It wouldn't. It really would not, because women in my family, we protect our brothers, our cousins. That's just simply what we do by the women they're with. So if the women understand that if you're going to have no boundaries, you're going to be checked. Now, I said this in a previous video. Um, my brother was dating this girl, and for me, it takes a very little for me to piss me off. I get like this, especially about my family and the men in my family. Uh, I call my brother up, and we're sitting there talking, and she interrupts our conversation by asking, "Who are you on the phone with?" And he told her. She said, "Oh, you're cheating on me. You're lying." It's like, tell her it's your sister. And oh, you're lying. I know you're cheating. And for me, when women are insecure like that, they're dangerous. Insecure women are dangerous because stuff get up here and they imagine a story. And then that story becomes true. And that truth is, I'm going to get you because I know you're out there cheating. I'm going to catch you. I'm going to do whatever. So I know this. And this was my first time meeting her. And it. Now, I took two buses, live in DC, and I took two buses to get to Mount Rainier, Maryland. I was pissed because it was a 2-hour bus ride. Oh man, just thinking about that. And I knock on my brother's door, and when he opens it up, he jumps. He's like, "Oh God!" And I told her, I said, "Look, that's my brother. He was talking to me on the phone, and you're calling my brother a liar because you're insecure. Now, my brother is not a liar and he's not a cheater. And I don't appreciate you admonishing my brother like that on the phone while I'm talking to him because of your insecurities. And told her, this was years ago, women like you are dangerous. And my brother is not in this world alone. He does have a family, a loving family, and you better get it straight. And I told her I would invite you outside. I'm not going to do anything in my brother's house, but just know you won't have any peace. Watch it. Just watch what you do. You better treat my brother with dignity and respect, and all that little stuff that you got going on up here, it better leave because my brother, he's not those things. Maybe about 5 or 6 months after that, they broke up, and I'm like, and my brother, he was really pissed off at me for a while, but then after a while, he thanked me. He was like, I was mad at you for a long time, and a lot of stuff she was doing before you came and checked her, she stopped. But she just didn't know how to. Well, it was a long time ago, but I told them, you look, I know how women are. Women will set you up like this. If a woman feels scorned, she will do anything to get back at you, all because of how she feels. And then after, when you're in jail, oh well, I'm sorry, but I still want to be with you. Nah. But I digress. But back to Jada. My heart goes out to Will, and Will is helpless. He's helpless in the situation, and I'm just wondering, is his sister talking to him? Is his sister checking Jada? I mean, I know it's their marriage, but when they get to the point like the way Will is, somebody needs to intervene and help. I mean, just to whisper in his ear, whisper, not whisper in Jada's ear, but maybe scream in her ear. I mean, it's so bad to where the children. Oh my goodness, the children. I think of Willow and how she wrote a letter at the age of 11 asking Tupac, "Oh, I know you're not dead. Please come back. Make my mommy and I happy." Why does Willow know about your ex-boyfriend before she was even born? Why? It's outrageous. And then saying making my mommy and me happy. It's like turning your your children against their father, the man that you married. Just such blatant disrespect. I would say borderline hatred, but I'm not a doctor. It's just what she puts out there in the ether. And it's really ugly. It's just ugly. And oh man, it gets worse. I mean, I think about Jaden. Oh, that poor boy. I mean, how can you? I don't think he would ever bring home any more friends home to the house. I mean, it's sad and disturbing how you would take your son's friend that has mental issues and have an entanglement. No boundaries, none. And Will did not put down that line saying, "Hey, um, you're my wife, and this right here. You don't cross this line here. You don't cross it. And if you cross this line, you got to go. Mm. It's just, and it's not a judgment call. I'm not being judgmental. I'm not being judgmental. I'm just stating what happened. Mm. Let me see if I can. If I can bring this up. Oh, yeah, but it's just really beyond comprehension how even how this could even go on the way it does, and just really beyond comprehension. It's like you put your children first. You put your husband first. You put your marriage first. And she's not doing it. She's putting herself first, her wants, her needs. Me. And because to have that me, I have no boundaries because I could do whatever I want. She'd been doing whatever she wanted and no consequences. But I tell you this much, if Will ever really looks at himself and says, okay, let me dust myself off, pick myself up, look at this woman, she is the destroyer of nations. I gotta remove myself from this situation and find something better because this sure enough ain't working. And until he does that, it's always going to be a mess. Always. Poor thing. So I'm going to look at the chat. Let me see if I can bring up the chat, see what's going on in the chat. Yes. So, but that whole situation's terrible. But as long as he's keeping her happy and he's doing having those Tupac moments, running out there and beating people up, and she'll be happy. Well, I think I have exhausted enough on Jada Pinkett Smith. Um, my next live stream is going to be on Back to Fact. Um, Found some interesting things on that. And also, I have another YouTube channel called Law Incorrect, where I talk about a lot of politics, which is really my passion. Politics, global situations, and U.S. politics of what's going on about the gubernatorial race, Nebraska. What's his name? Charles uh, Herbster puts his hand up a woman's dress while she's walking to a table. Just does that. A rich businessman, and because he has money, can do what I want because I have money. They need my money. They need donations. And because I'm donating, I could do whatever I want. Look, not all money is good money. And these political organizations are going to have some kind of some ground rules for these donors, or if not, put a chain on these animals and pull them back away from women, because you might grab the wrong person, put their hand up there, and okay. But on that note, I am going to go ahead and end this live stream. And if you like my content, please like, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Working hard on that. So also leave a comment. But most of all, I want to thank you for stopping by, and I want to thank you for hanging in here with me. I appreciate you. Thank you.